You are a lone hero investigating a dark miasma creeping through your city's sewer system. Creatures are becoming more and more dangerous subject to this energy. Your city has sent guard patrols to no avail, so you've decided to take it upon yourself, wondering what is at the source of this evil magic.
Evil magic dogs, homie.
That's the start of the game, Shattered Pixel Dungeon, an indie roguelike dungeon crawler. No need for a tutorial, no other nonsense required. Best backstory you get is dependent on your class. You've got Warrior, the Mage, the Rogue, and the Huntress. I never really played her, and the Duelist, and the Cleric. What? A regularly updated video game over a decade old? Well, butter my sword and cut me a slice of mystery meat. That sounds like a great time. But if you're only starting out, you only have the Warrior. He hits stuff, classic Warrior, and he's arguably the best at it. But the other classes can be unlocked by playing the game. No siphoning mom's credit card for daddy AAA game this time. Armed with a trusty worn sword, the clothes on your back, and some rocks you found, you can progress through the sewer. Less prepared than your average min-max D&D character, you're willing to descend in the depths of the darkness and fight monsters because you're built differently, I guess.
I'm built different. I just know it.
Quick time event. UCA. Correct answer. Throw a rock at it. Rat, throw a rock at it. Snake, throw a rock at it. Ran out of rocks, throw a rock in your pocket. They're quite useful at this stage. Despite being the sewers, tons of treasure is strewn all over the dungeon. Magical scrolls, potions, weapons, armor, and shockingly not a single rock. The devs must know the rocks are sacred. Like Addition's gift of wishes, you only get 3. In the sewers that you start off in, it progresses from simple rats and snakes to gnolls, crabs, slimes, and flies. Oh, yeah, and mimics, so you better hone your gamer instinct to tell the difference between this sprite and that sprite, as one of them will give you 4 coins and the other will make you fight for those 4 coins. You'd think it's just a reskin of monsters, but no, every single monster has a unique mechanic. The flies multiply upon attack, the crabs move faster toward you than they do through a nursing home, and the rats are everywhere.
You to hang up that computer call. Come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth. I'm feeling romantical.
You also have to be careful of funky plants, traps, and maybe even watch out for a special encounter. For example, you could find some skill-issue ghost who wants you to avenge their death from some variant stinky rat. You may be thinking, wow, that's fascinating. Perhaps I can take my time and explore every room. You're quite optimistic, glad you've taken such an interest in the game, but there's in fact a hunger mechanic. Being a turn-based RPG, if you are starving, you lose health every turn. Luckily, the dungeon provides food on the ground. Go on. Every second you don't pick it up is another second spent on the floor. Should you somehow survive, perhaps even get used to things, every 5 floors contains a boss fight, where the boss of the sewers was goo. Just some goo, don't know why it was down there, don't really care, but it ate a key, so that means you can open a door and oh, it's prison time, as the dark miasma's even deeper. Down here is the first time you meet the closest person you have to a friend, the shopkeeper. Sure, he charges exorbitant prices and will likely watch you starve to death with a cold, unfeeling expression that only communicates in equally cold, hard gold. But he has stuff, and gold is pretty useless otherwise. The shopkeeper's most coveted item, that you probably wouldn't find in between some gnoll cheeks, is the Ankh. It's a little dirty, but just spit shine will fix that right up. What's the Ankh do? Well, buddy old Sally old pal, it's your only revival item in the game. Obviously, it's the main thing you should buy, but oh, is that ethereal chains? Awesome! I love those things. They can pull enemies towards you, like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, and I regret buying the Ankh. So after having a slap fight with some skeletons, getting mugged, and bum-rushing necromancers while their summons begged for my attention like a bot in the YouTube comments, I eventually crawled back up the floors with enough money for the chains to continue my run. which I then forgot to use 9 times out of 10, but it certainly felt cool in my inventory. To which I immediately nearly died by throwing a potion of toxic gas into a room full of enemies, which slowly started to feel like the first and second scariest shower you could have in a prison. But I luckily lived long enough to fight the second boss, who is a cheap ninja who keeps throwing stuff and get back here, come on, finally. To which he drops a mask that lets you pick a subclass of what you desire in further levels. Descending ever deeper, I've reached the Dwarven Mines, inhabited by the Knoll's creepy uncle with anger issues that will hug you a little too long. The Spitsy Spider, who thinks you're drunk and thinks blocking your exits is called flirting, and other scum of the earth that enjoys your suffering. So after dressing to impress and hanging out with my best friend, the shopkeep, I made my way through the mines and met a cool blacksmith and got near obliterated by Rock'em Sock'em Robots 1 and 2. After surviving that scary robot ordeal, I finally made it to the boss room. Luckily, I was off of the old floor with all the robots and... Wait, what's that rumbling?
Unauthorized personnel detected.
Great. Yeah, the dwarves apparently love their robots so much, they built a really big one that can turn any part of your skull into a soft spot with enough bricks.
Do you have any ibuprofen? I got a headache.
And its ridiculous invulnerability phase is a type of boss that makes you feel wanted, but in the way that makes you want to call the police. To which is chasing me till I died. Luckily, I've been buying all those onks that, one, cured me of the whole dying problem. And thus, after smacking it hard enough, I could enter the Dwarven metropolis, where apparently the dwarves loved 2 things: statues and books. There are libraries everywhere. I get lore says some warlock took over, but not all casters are nerds. Thereafter, I hung out with the shopkeep. We're such good friends. He only charged me 1,000 gold for my new onk. Before I can ask my dear friend whether or not those are mutton chops or side locks, I realize I must have made a mistake and have traveled to West Virginia due to all the fentanyl ghouls leaning so hard it gives me scoliosis, and many who keep slapping my pockets so hard to check if I have change, so hard that I died again.
No! I don't have any change! I don't have any change!
See, apparently, fate didn't like me this run, as my main weapon of choice was insanely inaccurate for some reason, meaning the ghouls, who can only die when you defeat all of them who are next to one another, kept coming back because I couldn't defeat their friend in time. This was especially bad due to dwarves apparently loving one other thing: martial arts. To where you have Kung Fu Dwarf who played too much Street Fighter, realizing he has a punching bag who can't even fight back. So after falling through a floor and rocking around 9 health, I slapped an 8 in the Dwarven boss room area and tried to get as much HP as I could before I went into the Mad King's throne room. With all of the boss fights of before, it usually has one big beefy thing you had to hit. Yet the Dwarven King, with his stiff beard self, has an annoying invulnerability phase where he summons enough enemies to make the CIA jealous with how many citizens he has hooked on fentanyl. To which I subsequently died for the last time. My onks were gone, my food was gone, and my healing was gone. Let's see what I had to say for that run. Well, that was it. That was the run. I got hit 3 times. That was great. The Dwarven Ghoul killed me. The Dwarven Ghoul. Just great.
Yep, as you can see with my build, I could have probably did a scroll of rage, maybe made them fight each other, but wasn't all that swarm. Maybe remove a curse on none of my items. Drank a healing potion, I told you.
This is the greatest game ever. So yeah, that was a standard explanation and run of Shattered Pixel Dungeon. It's a game I play from time to time that can engross me for hours, and its awesome soundtrack and insane difficulty, where some runs I feel like a god and other runs I feel like a baby fighting Requise with a napkin. I had a lot of fun talking about it, and if you want to try it yourself, it's available on platforms like Steam or GOG Games. You can find it for about $10, and it's available on Windows, Mac, and Linux. But if you want just a passing glance or do not have the dough, I'm pretty sure the mobile versions are free as well as the fact that it is an open source game on GitHub, meaning that if you're familiar with compiling code to a specific platform, you can always get it that way. But I would always encourage supporting the creator when you can, and acquiring the official versions. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, feel free to leave a like. It's much appreciated and it motivates me to pursue further videos. If you want to be aware of a future video's release, I highly encourage that subscribe button over there. And yeah, that's about it. The video's over. You can leave now.